Hi, and welcome to the Grace Cycle Show. I'm your host, Karen Dittman, and our goal is for you to stop trying harder in your relationship with God and find a different way to grow through grace. In today's episode, we're going to talk about curiosity. But before we get started today, do you feel like you're running on a hamster wheel and it just won't stop? If so, then I have something for you. It's my quiz, How Fast is Your Hamster Wheel Spinning? Check out this 50-second quiz at hamster.onefitwellness.com or click on the link in the show notes. This quiz is going to help you see what's spinning your hamster wheel, how it's impacting you, and discover what you can do to help slow it down. So let's get into today's episode about curiosity. Curiosity is one of two tools to use alongside the grace cycle that I talk about in the book Thriving in Grace, Unleashing Wellness from a Biblical Perspective. So when I talk about curiosity, you might be curious. What do I mean? Curiosity is basically awareness of what's going on. And specifically, when I'm working through the grace cycle, I want to be curious about my thoughts, about my emotions, about how things are impacting me as I'm going through life. These are really important. This awareness is really important tool for our growth. And when I have curiosity about myself, then I can have what I like to call an aha moment, where I realize something that might need to shift or change in my life, or I might discover how something has impacted me. An example is I tend to get headaches from time to time, and for a while I thought this is migraines, but there was something that was going on, and I started paying attention, and I realized every time I ate something with corn in it, the next day I had a headache. And so I mentioned this to my husband, and we started making meals without corn, and I wasn't having these headaches. And then I accidentally ate something that had corn in it, and lo and behold, the next day I had a headache. So this is what curiosity and that aha moment can look like. Just being aware of what's going on, asking myself some questions, and paying attention. Another example of just how this plays out in life, when I'm teaching fitness classes, I will always tell my students that you want to pay attention to how what you're doing feels in your body. And I always tell them, you're the one who has to live in your body tomorrow, not me. So if I'm doing something that doesn't feel right to you, give yourself permission to do it a little bit differently, safely still, but modifying what you're doing so that it isn't too much for you. So here are some places in our life where curiosity can be helpful. If I'm starting something new, a new eating plan, therapy, a new form of exercise, maybe a new relationship, I need to pay attention to how all of this is impacting me physically, emotionally, mentally. Curiosity plays into paying attention and being aware of how this new thing is impacting me. And if I feel resistance, then I use curiosity to ask myself, is this resistance because it's something new that I wasn't used to before and my mind doesn't want to do something new? Or am I feeling resistance because there's something going on that's actually not good for me in this? Also, before you start something new, curiosity is helpful. Pay attention to, how do you feel about starting this new thing? Paying attention to any resistance that's coming up about stepping into a new job, a new relationship, anything new in your life. And why might you be feeling that resistance ahead of time? Or on the flip side, the excitement that's coming up. What is it that's lying under that excitement? Is it change for the sake of change? Or is it excitement because you're seeing that good things are going to come from this change in your life? So again, just be curious about how you're feeling and what's lying underneath those feelings. Another way to use this, or another time to use this, is if something feels off in your life. You have health issues like my headaches that I talked about, or something is off in a relationship and you're struggling, or if you're feeling distant from God, use curiosity to pay attention to what's going on to create that sense of something not being right. Also, when things are going well, pay attention to how you respond. Do you just kind of move on and just, hey, okay, things are good. I can push forward as much as I can in life right now? Or do you have a sense of relief? Or do you have a sense of gratitude and praise and worship that comes when you're feeling like things in your life are good? Be curious when things are going well, when things are hard, when you're starting something new, or even before you start something new. So here are some tools you can use to engage your curiosity. One that I love is a journal. Now, journaling can be different for everyone. And I've met with so many people who say, well, I don't like to journal, because their perspective is, I have to sit down with an open book and I have to fill this page with words that are perfectly formed in sentences. This does not have to look like your 5th grade composition book. All right, your journal can be anything. You can scratch randomly all over the page. You can doodle and draw pictures. You can use this to just write random words, or you can organize your thoughts and write them down that way. Whatever works for you. I am such a strong believer in us all being individuals and having different things that work for us at different times and from one person to the next. So make your journal work for you. But use your journal to help you kind of connect the dots or practice awareness. Maybe it's sitting down at the end of the day and thinking about, how did I show up? What was I feeling? Maybe it's sitting down in the morning and writing out your expectations for the day. Maybe it is something that you've read in the scriptures, and how does that impact you? And what is God teaching you? And practically, what are you going to do? Again, I love a journal just to help with awareness and curiosity, but it can be done in any way that works for you. Another tool that I find helpful is to pause at regular times throughout my day to just check in with myself. So you could do this at any time, and maybe even setting an alarm on your phone to go off, at certain times or every 2 hours, and say, how am I feeling? What emotions am I feeling right now? Why might I be feeling those emotions? What am I thinking about? Why might I be thinking about that? And what does God say to me about these emotions and these thoughts in my life? One other tool, and this also can be difficult, but you can learn to do it, okay? Trust me, is sitting in silence with God. Now, I know I often have this experience, and I bet you do too. You sit down and you try to be quiet, and your brain goes, oh, let's think about all the things. Let's bring up everything that's going on. Let's rehash that conversation from 2 days ago. Let's wonder what's going on, or figure out what to do about this kid for school next year. Or all of these things go running around in our heads. And it's a challenge, but it is so worth learning to just let those thoughts go and focus on the presence of God. So maybe this is as simple as setting a timer for 15 or 30 seconds to start with, and sit down, take a breath in and exhale, and feel God's presence, and just focus on your breath a couple times before all those thoughts start intruding. Or maybe it looks like being aware as the thoughts come up, handing them over to God. Or being aware as the thoughts come up and just letting them be like hot air balloons that just float away, or clouds just floating away. They'll come back to you when you need them. You don't need them right now. So start with 15 seconds, 30 seconds, work your way up slowly to about 2 minutes, and then maybe a little bit longer. So this silence can really help you in a sense, because you could say, all right, I will be silent and quiet for 2 minutes and let all of these extra thoughts go. And then, what do I need to be aware of, God? What do you want me to focus on? Silence can actually be a really helpful tool. And I know it's not easy. I've had to work hard to learn it, but it is really, really valuable. Now, one other thing with curiosity I want to warn you about. Please be careful not to judge yourself. Because sometimes when we become aware of something and we're curious, then we go, oh, I don't like that about me. Oh, I should be further along. Oh, I should have dealt with that a long time ago. And that word, should, that's the S word to just drop from your mind, okay? Because Romans 8:1 tells us there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Please, if the Father is not judging you, please don't judge yourself. Please don't put yourself on his throne and in his place. Let go of the judgments, because curiosity is the first step of becoming aware of what needs to change, so that then we can begin to grow. So just to recap today, curiosity is a powerful tool to help you grow by understanding yourself better and understanding how any changes you make impact you. I'd encourage you in the next week, take some time every day to either practice journaling, check-ins throughout the day at regular intervals, or even silence. Let me know how it's going. You're always welcome to drop me an email at thriving@onefit.us, and I'll be sure to answer you. And who knows, I might even record a bonus mini-sode for the podcast based on any questions that you send in. So maybe all of this sounds great to you, but you're still struggling with where to start or how to engage with this, because there's a lot going on in your life. And that's why I created my quiz, How Fast is Your Hamster Wheel Spinning? You can find it at hamster.onefit-wellness.com or click on the link in the show notes. And the quiz and the results will help you to figure out your next steps to thrive by living in grace. So that's it for today. Please take a second to subscribe to the show so you'll be notified when future episodes come out. And it would mean the world to me if you would rate or review this podcast. That way more people can find out about it. So until next time, get curious, stay connected, and live in grace.